Hey everyone, this is Emma with the Spirit Keepers coming at you with an end of the year fun Christmas video. So I am coming at you today with my second paranormal Christmas Eve ghost story time. I'm very excited to share another paranormal experience with you. If you are interested in my first video, please feel free to watch that in the description box below. The first video, it's about my first paranormal experience ever, and like in the house that I grew up in as a kid. So definitely check it out. It's a little bit of a longer video. This one's gonna be more on the shorter side, but yeah, that one is a little over 20 minutes, so it's a little bit of a commitment, but if you're really into ghost story times, it's definitely worth it. I do have timestamps in that one just because it's so long, so feel free to check that out. And today I'm gonna be telling you guys about the ghost experience I had at the Rocks neighborhood in Sydney, Australia. I studied abroad there spring of 2014, and it was my junior year in college, and I ended up going to Bond University for the semester. And before I went back home, my parents came because they had never been to Australia and wanted to see it. So we spent 2 weeks in Australia on Gold Coast as well as Sydney, and then we ended up coming back. We spent about a week in Sydney and really enjoyed it. And we were walking around a little bit, and we found a flyer for a ghost tour. And I always make my parents do the ghost tours with me anytime we go somewhere. I always like drag them to it. I drag them on the ghost tour, and they know it's coming too. I'll always be like, hey guys, there's a ghost tour. So I saw the brochure and definitely wanted to check it out. And this ghost tour they're still doing it today, but it's specifically for the Rocks neighborhood in Sydney. For those of you who don't know what the Rocks is it's the oldest neighborhood in Sydney, Australia. European settlers settled there in 1788, and that's the actual spot where European settlers landed. So it's such a cool neighborhood. I loved walking around there. There's so many different like side alleys and things like that that have ruins from like the original settlers there, and you can just walk past that at any point, and it is just so cool to see. It's a very interesting neighborhood, and there's a lot of good attractions there. Highly recommend it. So we decided that we're gonna go on this ghost tour. My mom ended up getting sick, so she wasn't able to come, so it was just my dad and I. And the ghost tour was absolutely amazing. It was really cool because we were actually able to, it wasn't just like the stories were being told from, you know, the sidewalk out front of places. We were actually able to get access to some of the haunted places, as well as some of like the more ruinous areas that are closed off to the public. So it's a very cool tour and a perfect combination of paranormal and history. When I was doing back in 2014, the final stop on the tour is this old archaeological site. And apparently, and it's in the basement of a tall skyscraper office building. The tour guide said that they had just recently excavated it, and it was more ruins from the original rock settlement down there. And he was telling us this story about how people have seen a ton of, there's been a ton of paranormal activity at this one archaeological site. And he gave us free time to go walk around and check everything out. But one important thing he did have us note before we ended up walking around the ruins is he said that there is one ghost that is very in your face, and if you're sensitive to spirits, you'll definitely encounter her. It's a woman. And he said, he was like, make sure you take a lot of photos in this area, because not only may you see orbs, but he said that a lot of people capture photos of her face. So I was all over it. So we were walking around, I took a bunch of photos, and then towards the end, I walked through the ruins. It was very interesting. They had a lot of plaques up and everything talking about what we were seeing, things like that. at the very end, we went back up to the tour guide, and I just snapped like a bunch of photos towards the entrance to the site. And I'm going to start putting these photos up right now, but just this is how the site looks like normally. It looks like there's a bunch of orbs. It could just be due to, you know, being in the ruins, things like that. But that's what a majority of my photos look like. All of a sudden, you start seeing this, it initially just looks like an orb. And it's starting to fade in a little bit. And it looks like a big orb with kind of like a pinkish aura to it. And then I was like, I noticed this and I'm like, I have to take more photos. I need to see like how, you know, what's going on here. So I continue taking more photos. And as I'm taking more photos, it doesn't just form an orb. Like, it starts to get closer to me, and you can, it's not super clear, but you can see more details in it. Like, you can see, the, you know, like, facial structure in it. And I was very shy at the time. I feel like now I probably would have immediately brought it up to the tour guide and been like, oh my gosh, take a look at these, take a look. But I was, especially at the time, I was very, very shy. So I think I was, like, nervous to show him. It's just very interesting, because like I said, it's not just like there's a bunch of orbs. Like I said, in the first photo, there's things that look like orbs that I'm like, oh, it could be dust or something like that. This is very obviously not dust because there's a color to it. It's not just like a white, you know, a white image or anything like that. And not only that, but you can very clearly see it forming. You know what I mean? Like, it's very gradual. It's not like all of a sudden it's there and then it's gone, you know? So I just have a gut feeling. I'm like, this is her. This is the woman that he was talking about. And I don't know why she presented herself to me. Like I said, it may just be that I'm really sensitive to things and, you know, they feel safe around me, or like maybe they pick up on my energy too and know that like I'm open to it. I don't know how all of this works. Like I said, a lot of this is, even as a ghost hunter, still a mystery to me too, but I thought I'd share this story with you of this spirit of this woman that I found in the ruins at the rocks. I'm also going to put a link to the Rocks Ghost Tour in the description below in case any of you just happen to be in the Sydney area and want to go on this tour. Again, very good balance between history and paranormal. That's my ghost story for today. I hope you like this video. Feel free to like leave any, you know, comments in the section in the bottom if you don't think this is real, or I'm absolutely open to anything you guys have to say. So please feel free to put that in the comment section as well. And in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great holiday season. I have a few videos that are going to be coming out in 2024. I'm really excited about it. Siobhan and I have this one video we did at a place called Emily's Bridge, and this is in Stowe, Vermont. So if anyone's familiar with Vermont, we got some, you know, content about Haunted Bridge there that I think you'll like. We're also for sure going to be doing the Omni Parker House investigation in the new year, so definitely check it out. I hope you guys have a wonderful new year, and definitely, you know, hope to be chatting with you guys soon.